Welcome to PMPA's Final Cut of the Week, where we share important information you may have missed while you were making essential parts. I'm Veronica Durden.
And I'm Carly Kistler-Miller, and this is what you need to know for the week ending July 19, 2024. Orders for machine tools grew 22% over April 2024 and 6.5% over May 2023. Demand for machine tools remains high, even with elevated interest rates. Our take? Growth in machine tools has slowed from the post-pandemic highs, but is steady, which is what we see in our business trends report. The volatility is being squeezed out with the easing of pandemic supply chain whip effects.
Business activity in New York State declined modestly in July of 2024, according to the Empire State Manufacturing Survey. The General Business Conditions Index remained nearly unchanged at minus 6.6. New orders were steady, shipments rose slightly, and delivery times shortened with unchanged supply availability. Inventories decreased and the labor market continued to weaken with ongoing employment contraction. Input prices rose modestly, while selling price increases were minor. Despite these conditions, firms were fairly optimistic about future improvements. Lack of volatility is as important a signal to our business as would be a huge external event. We'll take low volatility as an optimistic signal in July.
A massive hack to AT&T servers managed by Snowflake has exposed customer data, including phone numbers, text messages, call logs, and other key information. This breach affects almost all 242 million AT&T customers. This is a stark reminder that we live in a connected world. Our company, personnel, and personal data can be found anywhere on the internet, and Snowflake has had several other breaches. With critical data, it's important not to just pick the lowest bidder, but a competent partner in your cloud solutions.
Industrial production rose 0.6% in June month over month. In the second quarter, industrial production increased at an annual rate of 4.3%. Manufacturing output moved up 0.4% in June to a 3.4% annualized rate for the second quarter. Industrial production is moving strongly to the upside. The numbers have been negative for most of the year, and in May, we hit a slightly positive reading. June has pushed industrial production to the highest reading since November of 2022.
In case you missed it, the following topics were discussed on PMPA's ListServe Communities this week: salt for heat treating tempering process, PMPA's May Business Trends Report, the monthly grants tracking matrix, zinc cobalt plating source, distillation of dirty solvents, and Ultim 220. PMPA members may ask and answer questions by going to the ListServe Communities on PMPA.org.
On this week, Speaking of Precision podcast, Miles Free, David Wynn, and Carly discuss Miles' disdain for the phrase value added to discover what the real meaning is. Our Speaking of Suppliers podcast features an interview with Corp Infotech, where the impact of CMMC compliance is discussed. This podcast and our Speaking of Suppliers podcast can be found on major podcast platforms or on PMPA.org.
Now it's time for our weekly tip. Drilling holes is one of the most fundamental operations of precision machining. To learn about which twist drills to use for a successful process, go to PMPA.org's Knowledge Centers or Final Cut of the Week.
And that's our take on what you need to know for the week ending July 19th, 2024. For additional information and links about any of the topics discussed today, go to PMPA.org and click on Final Cut of the Week.
Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next Friday. But
lack of volatility is as important to did I say that right?
No. Has exposed customer data, including phone numbers, text messages.
Thought you were going to save yourself with that one.
Say test messages.
Up one more.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
A massive attack. Nope, I forgot.
Been negative for the most 0.4% in June to a 3.
Yeah, you just like ran that sentence all together. There was a period.
Manufacturing output moved up 4 point
Sheesh. Tracking matrix. I almost saved that.
Firms were fairly optimistic.